The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
Hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 171. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day, out of your morning, out of your evening to join us. We very much appreciate it. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here today, and then sitting to my right is the Trail Master of Puppets himself, Udi.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. Jess is at work. She was gonna come today, but she had to pick up a shift or something. But she will be on our next episode. She just needed some more planning in advance, and that is that. Hey, if you'd like to, were you gonna say something, Udi? Oh, okay.
I leaned forward just to adjust my back.
Ah, gotcha. Today's show is sponsored by you, the listeners, and those are those folks on Patreon. We very much appreciate it. If you'd like to do that, you can go ahead and go to leavingtodaypodcast.com, look for the Patreon link, and we have it there. Also on Instagram at Leaving Today Podcast, we have a link tree, and it's all there. It's $1, $3, and $5. And for that, you get to be on the show, you get some cool swag, and you get to be part of the LTP family. If this is your first time listening, thank you so much. We hope you find the water to be warm. If general and deep Disneyland discussion is your jam, then you found the right spot. The conversations we have with each other and with the guests are the same ones we'd be having with you guys at the park. Nothing crazy, but we like to go deep. We like to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could do us a favor right now, whatever platform you're on, Spotify, Apple iTunes, iHeartRadio, whatever, if you could just press pause for a second and then go leave us like a review or a star rating or whatever it is you want. It doesn't matter if it's 1 star or 5 stars. If it's a 1 star, I would like to know why. But if it's whatever, it just helps us get along and get like promoted more. So that would really that would be the main thing we would ever ask for. Is just a few moments of your time to say, hey, these guys are cool. This is what I need, or these guys don't know what they're talking about. That's fine too. So if you could do that, just press pause. Okay, now we're back.
Yep.
Yeah. Today we're talking probably. To be honest, it's been a busy 2 weeks for us, so we didn't have a whole lot going on. But there's always good news at the park, and we're gonna tag that. We are gonna segue into probably our feature presentation, which is gonna be about Tomorrowland stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna go into that a little bit. So we are currently, I'm guessing, in the second quarter of 2023. We're wrapping up the first quarter of 2023, actually. So what's going on at Disneyland? I only say this because when you listen to the show, you're thinking, oh, what's going on at the parks? Spring is here. Mm-hmm. Currently, it is April 2nd, 2023. I was looking at some pictures of the park this week. It looks spectacular with all the colors in the hub. The Mickey florals is looking good, and next time you guys are at the park, don't take a quick run. I mean, just don't run to every attraction. Maybe take a leisurely stroll and appreciate the art of the flowers and the landscaping. And those guys and girls just, man, I don't know, just incredible work. That's what those guys do.
Well, we always are. We've always been proponents of taking your time.
Yes.
When you're in the park.
Yes.
Walking through and appreciating what has gone into the park. I think a lot of people, if they took the time to do that, and we say it all the time, if you take the time to look around and maybe get a better grasp of everything that's going on, you may level up, per se, on your appreciation of the park and understanding why it's special.
Yeah.
And why we sit here, and we've been talking now 7 years.
7 years.
And we talk about that park in the way we do. And it hasn't waned. We've been critical. We always will be.
Sure.
But our love and passion for the park hasn't waned.
Right.
Not for the park. For the company, maybe.
Yeah, the company maybe.
Yeah, but for the park, no. No, we're there. Yeah.
The parks are the shining gems of the Disney company.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. And that kind of goes into my opening question when you're ready for it.
Okay. But no, yeah, he's right. It's just take the time. No one's even asking for any TripAdvisor right now, but people do believe it. But who was it that we were talking about? It was like one of our friends was going for like one day, and both you and I took that big like. Only one day, okay.
It was your coworker.
Was it Josh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you told him, like, no, we need to go at least 2.
Minimum 2.
I think he wound up going for 2, didn't he?
No, he only went for one day. But so he tried to ask for like an itinerary, and it's hard.
Yep.
Because he got a park hopper too. I'm like, that's way too much for one day.
Yeah, for one day you can't accomplish. And honestly, that is a bridge too far. And I think people. If you don't get that, like, again, give yourself time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely right. Yep. I mean, no pun intended. Well, this kind of fits in. He really didn't have time to stop and smell the roses. Yeah, no. But I
would hate feeling that. Like, you get this hectic feeling, even for you and me, and a lot of people who listen to the show. You know, we know the park. We understand the park. We all have our little things that we enjoy to go do, and we know how to accomplish that maybe in a day.
Yep.
But even then, I would feel rushed, and I don't like that.
No, same thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, we're the same with that. Even if it's like, it's gonna be crowded, I don't care. Yeah. You and I could still get a lot done, and do the things that we want to do, even if the park's crowded. But I would still feel like, we didn't do that. We missed out. Or we should circle back and look at that thing again. Yep. Yeah, that's right. 2 days minimum for me.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Okay, so Udi does have an opening question. What can it be? I don't even know what it is.
Okay, so yeah, this is cold. He doesn't know. What is your initial feeling or feelings about the layoffs coming to Disney right now and everything that's going on at the corporate level with the business? That's what we're talking about, like not the park, but the company.
Okay, so what are my thoughts about the layoffs? Well, I'm never a big fan of layoffs. I've always been against that. I've always felt like, okay, well, if this division isn't performing the way it should be, let's see what's going on. Maybe these folks can be redeployed elsewhere within the company. Maybe their skill sets are going to be more productive in this department, as opposed to just a clean cut. And I know why businesses do it. But it makes me sick just to think about all that kind of stuff. But where Disney as a company, and not Disneyland, Disney as a company, they probably had to trim the fat in a few areas, especially with some of their decisions as far as their content in the last few movies. Dude, I don't even know what last movies they've made. And I've been very, very honest and upfront about this for 7 years, is I don't care about Disney animation or Disney movies. That is not anything that I ever think about. Watch how I fail in Jess's trivia questions. I have no idea what any of these movies are. I'm only concerned about the parks, the theme parks, and attractions and design and that kind of stuff. But that's why Jess is here and Udi's here, because they were into that, or at least they're more into it than I am. Jess is for sure. Udi's kind of on both sides. But what do I think about it? I'm not a fan of layoffs. I'm understanding what they're doing. I understand that some of the direction they were going as far as the content in their films or animation is not really what Disney needs to be doing. I'm guessing you're thinking about like the wokeness sort of stuff. Yeah. Well, I think for a hot minute it was what they thought they needed to do, but then Disney answers only to money and what is good and not what is good, but what is what is marketable, what is going to be an ROI on what they're throwing out there, and this stuff isn't sticking. It's gone. It's like vapors. No one cares about that anymore, and you could just tell by the box office, right? I mean, I can already tell you that. Well, we were talking about The Little Mermaid last week, right? And I have no idea what that is going to generate the box office.
And Peter and Wendy.
Oh, is that a movie? Mm-hmm. Oh, is it a live action? Mm-hmm. Oh, I had no idea. Okay, I don't know who's asking for this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just original. Make something original. Yet again, why are we going to The Little Mermaid? No one's asking for this. I don't think it's going to be that successful because we've already seen this before. Oh, yes, right. We talked about this. The last thing that was really good was The Jungle Book, right? Mm-hmm. No, sorry. The Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise, yeah. Which I thought was It was fun. It was entertaining. It was mindless. It was a good way to burn a couple hours.
I watched it like 8 times.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Not in theater. I saw it twice in the theater? Once
okay.
In the theater.
Yeah.
Twice, maybe.
Okay. I'll probably have to watch it again. There were some pretty funny parts in that. As long as they repurpose and get back on brand, because they've been off brand for a while for me.
I agree.
And I do think that right now the theme parks are they're carrying the weight of this Disney plane. I mean, if your plane has four props, and one of the props, there's 2 on each wing, one is parks, one is movies, one is entertainment, one is whatever. Merchandising. Mm-hmm. Well, they've had to redirect their fuel line so that all of those engines are running off the parks right now, keeping this Disney thing and that's not good, because the money generated from these parks should be going into R&D, should be going into cast members, I think, and should be going. And what I mean by that is make sure that your cast members are well taken care of as far as benefits, hourly wage, salaries, whatever. And also make sure these parks are investing in themselves as making things, expanding in a healthy way and not gouging people. So anyways, go ahead.
Well, I think, maybe I do, I need to find the source though, but I'm pretty sure that the cast members have secured wage increases.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't know that.
Maybe very happy to hear that. I'm trying to remember where I heard that. You guys can fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure they're going up. But when it comes to the layoffs, from what I'm hearing, as far as who's getting laid off, it's been high up people in the company.
Yes.
They've gotten rid of. They got rid of the number 2 in Marvel.
Yeah.
They've also gotten rid of the another person out of Marvel. I can't remember his name. He's gone too. Mm-hmm. They got rid of the few people that were working for whatever the metaverse was. They're going to try to do something metaverse. They got rid of that division.
Yeah.
So as far as what I'm understanding so far, is that a lot of the people that have been cut have been, for lack of a better way, bloat on the company.
Sure.
And I think these are good in the sense that they're, in my opinion, they are good indicators of what the Iger and his team is looking at and understanding where they are as a company. Before we started recording, I said to you, the company's in trouble.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that.
And I said, really, the company is in trouble, and it is in more trouble than I think a lot of people want to admit or want to acknowledge. So to me, I'm with you. I do not like layoffs. I do not like that, impending doom, that sense of impending doom. You've been under it before. I've been under it before. I think a lot of people have been under that kind of, the sort of Damocles over their head. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh my gosh, when is this going to drop on me? So I have a mixed feeling for it. One, obviously at the ground level, I hope they're not, laying people off that are integral, the people that are the you know the muckers, the grinders, the people like me who get out there every day and they do their job to the best of their ability because they believe in what they're doing and they're
Sure.
happy and they the cast members in the park. We've talked about it often. They are the lifeblood of the park.
They are.
So the fact that I really feel that you're right. I think the parks are carrying the weight of the company right now.
They are.
And because merch isn't doing it, entertainment isn't doing it, the movies, Lucasfilm isn't doing it.
That's what I was going to bring up. Actually, is when you started talking about the execs, or I think they should take a look at Lucasfilm deeply and see what the hell is going on over there. And I mean that in the kindest sense, because that IP is way too valuable for what they're not doing with it.
So I will give you the reports that I've been getting. Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll keep it short because it's very deep. Like I texted her earlier today because we were talking about, what are we going to talk about the show? We're trying to prep for the show.
Yeah, yeah.
And I said I'm so deep into trying to figure out what's going on in the quote unquote culture war that's going on in Disney because it's affecting Disney. Whether you want to, however you want to, shake that out.
Yeah.
It's happening. Okay. So I said, in my mind, I'm so trying to try to cut through all the layers of BS that is out there and try to get to the nuts and bolts of what's really going on in the company.
Well, we can workshop that topic for another day.
Yeah. But I'll give you, and maybe we do. Before we do that, I want to dig deeper. I want to make sure that we're really. We're really informed before we go into that. But we may have to. I'm feeling like that episode is coming. We're gonna have to sit down and really just tear apart what's going on and try to get to the nuts and bolts of what we feel is going on. But I'll give you real. And since you brought up Lucasfilm, I'll go real short. The Acolyte. The Acolyte is a show that was coming, right? They supposedly had people hired, blah, 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 blah. They hired an executive producer. I don't know if you heard about this. She is somebody higher up in the company, or a more well-known producer.
Yeah, we talked about this in the bike ride.
Right, we did. Okay, and so so for everybody who doesn't know, I'll give you a short version of what's going on right now. And what happened was she turned out another job. Within a week or two of her coming on to be the executive producer, showrunner for the Acolyte, she got let go. Okay, fired. And she kind of like, what? What are you talking about? They offered her, apparently, the report is $5,000 to just go away. And she was like, no, this was probably $1 million, if not a multi-million-dollar contract for the company. Now, the rumor is that this has finally come to Iger and kind of said, what is this crap going? Because she is suing Disney for wrongful termination. So anytime somebody of note sues a big company, he's like, it's gonna get to the CEO. There's no way it's not gonna get up there, right?
Sure.
So what happened was he knows this person, and so and the rumor is now again, this is all rumor, hard to really. What's the word I'm looking for? Really hard to verify it. But apparently he called in Kathleen and said, look, we're going to now audit Lucasfilm because where is this money coming from? Now the sense is that the Acolyte was might have been a scam to get money and to move money because he's like, how can you not? He's like, what is this? So that's the rumor.
You mean there wasn't a script? Or
that now all they have is they generate a few $1 million or something to try to get a scissor reel going to try to get it fully funded.
Oh, I see.
And so he's like, so it has triggered now an audit of Lucasfilm by Disney corporate, not Lucasfilm, because Lucasfilm went, oh no, we'll audit it, and they're like, no, we're going to do it now. And the other thing that apparently is that Kathleen Kennedy got called into Bob Iger's office and he said, WTF, what is going on in your company? What is going on? This is you. This is your responsibility. And then basically said, look, Lucasfilm or Indy has to make money. And not only make money, be a hit. And if it's not, You're out the door. Like
Okay.
no golden parachute, no nothing. We're going to fire you and rake you over the coals, and we're going to do it. And that is apparently, again, the rumor is that Kathleen Kennedy came out of that meeting and was so pissed off she was just running at the mouth, and multiple people heard her running off at the mouth. And this is what happened.
Oh.
Anyway, so going back to this, so I had to tell you that because it's like for a lot of people who don't know, that's what's going on. That's the thing that I'm constantly digging at because you can feel that with the layoffs coming or here already, there's going to be one round. This is first round. There is supposedly 2 more rounds of layoffs coming, which makes me kind of like, oh, man, I hate that. I hate that so much. But I think that's why I said Disney's in more trouble than some people want to think.
I think they would do well just to get rid of ESPN and Hulu. To be honest with you.
The rumor has it that they're trying to sell them.
Oh yeah, I would.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll find out. So, yeah. So the layoffs to me are a mixed bag, like they are. I hope that they do not cut from the essential. But
the frontline workers.
Yeah,
I heard that they weren't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping. You know, that it sounds like they've gotten a raise. They're trying to take care of the people who they know. Really are helping run this ship right now, and those are the people who get out there every day. Like I said, the muckers and the grinders, the people just get out there and they enjoy what they're doing. It's not always about the paycheck. While being paid is important, but I hope that this is actually a good course correction for the company. That I think they recognize that the course that they've been on with the content, with the IPs, you can't buy your way through. You need to be creative. We need to get back to what.
Right.
The company was founded on and based on, which is IP's originality and it being a thing of creativity and allowing creativity flow. Not some, like, whatever messaging they want to do, fine, but the point, and we've said it before, the point is always about the story and not about the message.
Sure.
Messaging, not the message, the messaging, which is different.
There is a difference for sure. Yeah. But, I mean, and to your point, a lot of this could be avoided if you just created good content. Right?
Yep. I actually had a conversation with our good friend Marcus about content.
Oh, Marcus.
Yeah,
okay.
About content.
Okay.
About content. And we're talking about back and forth. And for a lot of people who don't know, Marcus and I used to do a podcast reviewing movies years and years ago now. And we talk about this all the time because he's a creative. He likes to write. He likes to do a lot of things, computer graphics, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And he's actually taking writing courses, and he's letting me know like what they're teaching writers. I'm like, are you kidding me? They're not teaching writing. They're teaching box checking off.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't do that anymore. I think a lot of people are now recognizing that whatever, social issue that you want to address.
Yeah. You
need to get back to telling the good story so people can understand through storytelling.
Right.
You look back and you go back into any of these. You can go into the Bible. The Bible, even if you don't believe in Jesus, whatnot, you can at least look at the parables and the stories that are in the Bible. They're good. They're stories that are teaching a lesson, not messaging again. Message. So we'll see. I hope they return to that, and I hope the fact that they're getting rid of. They're holding accountable these higher end people that are in these departments and that have been driving these kind of things, that are recognizing, hey, at the end, if their motivation is money, which it's going to be, they're failing.
Sure.
So they're facing the consequences of bad decision making.
Yeah, and we're a month away from Star Wars celebrations in the UK. Is that right?
Not even that.
It's in May, isn't it?
Yeah, I can probably look it up. But yeah.
Okay, while you're looking it up, I mean, since we'll go off of this one small tangent here, not even tangent, but what do you think they're even going to announce there? Isn't that thing with Jude Law still in play?
Yeah, Skeleton Crew.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we don't know really much about that. But if Jude Law's in it, it's probably going to be pretty good, right?
I hope.
You hope? So what do you think they're even going to announce at Star Wars Celebration?
Well, the rumor is that they're going to announce 3 movies. I'll believe it when I see it.
Okay.
It is coming up. Hold on.
Well, and that's another thing. These movies can't be going right to Disney Plus. They need to be proper theatrical releases, I think.
Oh no, I completely agree. I think the model of, and this was part of my discussion with Marcus, the model of streaming has proven to be a failure.
Yeah.
I think when you really, again, this gets into the weeds, and this is the stuff that I love, so I'm not going to go into it because I know it's not for everybody. But Disney and Paramount and HBO and everybody you can think of all realized what Netflix was doing.
Yeah.
And they tried to get there. What they want to do is they want to become next Netflix.
Yeah.
They should have realized that is an impossibility.
Yep.
And so no one can dominate that space anymore. And they basically, and any media group is guilty of this, not just Disney, but they've basically diluted everything to a level where a lot of people got away from cable because it was too pricey, yada yada yada, all the different things, and now we're right back there again because too many people tried to take their piece of the pie.
Yep.
And they've diluted everything.
Sure.
So I think the movie part of it is a huge thing. I think recapturing the box office is going to be the next great war. And I'm all for it.
Sure.
Like, I haven't been to a movie. Like, there are 3 movies right now, 2 movies that I want to go see, and I have yet to really, like, do I really want to go to the theater right now? No.
No.
Because they haven't. It's not there. So that's the way I look at it. The streaming model and the streaming wars is over, and guess what? Nobody won.
Nobody won.
Everybody lost. So, yeah. Hold on. Let me...
You're looking at what they're going to announce or when it is.
April 7 through 10.
What?
So
That's
next week.
That's next week.
Yep, next week.
Oh, well, then we will be talking about that in our next show.
Yep. And what I'm finding interesting.
That's 5 days from now.
Yep.
What?
I bet you I can.
It's in what?
I can still buy tickets.
It's in the UK.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm not gonna go.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, you could. You are part of LTP. That's not within. I mean, that's totally within understanding.
You know, look. I could. No, never mind.
You could.
I could go.
And then I ask you this final question. Then we're going to go to the news.
Okay.
If they let go of Kathleen Kennedy,
Mm-hmm.
and they make her a Disney legend, because you know they will,
They will.
Are you going to be okay with that?
Wait. What part?
The whole thing.
Yeah. And I will tell you why.
Okay, tell me why. Because you know she's going to be
Because before her taking over Lucasfilm, she did a lot of good things.
Okay.
She helped out a lot. She got a lot of good films.
That's pre-Disney, though, right?
Correct.
Okay. Same with the same thing. Okay.
So to me, prior to that, she has earned at a level some kudos. She's not a terrible producer. Okay, she's not the best, but she isn't terrible. What she is she's a terrible company president.
Okay.
She has no business being the president of Lucasfilm. Zero. So, but that being said, I wouldn't have a problem because the Disney legend to me is it means nothing anymore.
It doesn't for me.
I think they watered it down to just, people like, oh, you work at ABC and we acquired you, but you've done great work at ABC, so now you're a Disney legend. No.
Well, that's the same way I felt about Carrie Fisher.
Yeah. And I argued that, and so that was a completely emotional thing for me, is like, yeah, but it's Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, but what did she do for Disney?
Exactly. No, your argument to it is completely justified.
And the fact that Kenny Baker isn't in, right?
Yeah.
He died the same year, and he did.
Peter Mayhew.
And Peter Mayhew.
Peter Mayhew, I think it was a year after.
Those, if that's what they're going by, then those guys have to be Disney legends.
Yeah, no, and that's why I hear like Oprah Winfrey, and I'm like, nah, come on, like,
is she?
I'm thinking, there was a
Whoopi
newscaster.
Goldberg.
Is she?
I have no idea.
No, there's a couple people they brought in from like ESPN or ABC. I'm like, no, like you haven't done anything for Disney.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's like.
But anyway, so there we go.
Yeah, someone told me that I should listen to the LTP because they talk about the Matterhorn and churros and stuff. What's going on?
And then we go off on culture and company and ire and real life stuff. Yeah, no, that's what we do.
That is what we do. But have no fear, the news is coming up next.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think
What?
someone once described our show as the thinking person's Disney podcast.
Yes, yes, we are, and I do appreciate that comment.
Yeah.
Someone did
Yeah.
say that about us.
Yep.
So now let's get into why you guys are really here, right?
Yeah.
It's the news about the parks. Let's go to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
Okay. So, it's starting April 19th of this year. That's only a couple weeks away. The DVC, that is the Disney Vacation Club, Starview Station Member Lounge at Disney Park will open.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah.
This is the one in what you call it, right? Tomorrowland?
It's in Tomorrowland. All ties together, my friend. Inspired by Walt Disney's optimistic vision of the future, the brand new space named Disney Vacation Club Starview Station, a member lounge. That's a very long name for a lounge. Disney Vacation Club Starview Station, a member lounge, is coming to Tomorrowland at Disneyland Park.
Try to put an acronym into that.
DVCSVSAML. Yeah.
How about
SML.
How about FML?
Yeah. There you go. FML.
Or SMH?
SMH, exactly right. The lounge will also be home to the historic Disney items such as the K-7 spacesuit worn by the Tomorrowland astronauts during the early years of Disneyland and the Space Station S1 model from the Disneyland television series. Inside the lounge, members can find amenities including a dedicated Disney Vacation Club member services team. Great. Seating. Oh, you can find seating there? That's great. Wow.
Are you kidding? A lounge with chairs.
And complimentary Wi-Fi. Well, that's not a stretch. Device charging stations and complimentary soft drinks. The new space, and that's in air quotes, is available for all eligible DVC members and LTP members with valid theme park tickets and reservations to Disneyland Park. It is located in the space on the second floor of the Star Wars Launch Bay building, which is, we all know what that is. Or as I hear, exclusive member spaces have been part of Walt Disney Vacation Club called Membership Magic. From the Top of the World Lounge, which recently reopened with a villainous new offerings atop Bay Lake Tower at Disney's Contemporary Resort, that's at Disney World, to the member lounge perched in the iconic glass pyramid of the Imagination Pavilion at Epcot. Okay, so this is just what they're saying is these exclusive lounges are not new to the Disney company. It's new to us on here on the West Coast. We just haven't had any of these yet. But the DVC Tower, the new one at Walt Disney World, which we talked about last week, will have its own lounge as well. And so now this kind of encroaches into the park. Yeah, I mean, Udi's laughing. I'm laughing. This is not.
Do you want to go for?
I mean, reason number 635 why I'm not an Imagineer. I would have said, what are we doing here?
Yep.
What the heck are we doing? We've got so many themes that we could build out elsewhere in the park and enhance the regular guest experience and not cater to DVC members. But what are your thoughts on this?
To be 100% honest with you, because that's all I know how to be, is this is a joke.
It's a joke.
It's stupid. It is okay. We've all these are the direct results of them trying to make Disneyland like all the other parks.
Right.
There is no way to look at it, in my opinion, other than this. Okay, so we always talk about you cannot make Disneyland like every other resort. It just will never be.
No.
The more they try, the more these things fail. Nobody cares about DVC at Disneyland. They don't care.
Yeah.
It isn't like Florida. It isn't like any other park. Stop. Just stop. Mm-hmm. It's not going to succeed. This is going to be dusty and empty because DVC is not a thing at Disneyland. No. Stop trying to make it. I'm sorry for everybody who may want to disagree with me. Next time you go to the park, and you're walking through, and you see the DVC areas, you know, like, hey, to sign up people. How busy are those?
That's Disneyland's best kept secret.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, give me a break.
Yeah.
Nobody goes there.
No one does it.
So their tower, the rooms are amazing. All that
Sure.
is freaking fantastic.
Absolutely.
Put it on an egg timer. How long before that's open for everybody?
Well, it's open now. You any guest can go book a room
Exactly.
there.
So it is not an exclusive thing. It is not. It is not an exclusive thing. Nobody cares about DVC.
The DVC members were not happy. From what I was reading, they were not happy that the general public can get a
Exactly,
crack at
because
that.
they're like, why am I paying for?
Right.
You know, I'm okay. When you pay for DVC, there is an understanding of exclusivity, right? So when you are paying for that and then you don't get it, who's going to be upset? I look at you and like, hey, if you're a DVC member
Yeah.
and you expect to have anything really special at Disneyland, I've got a bridge to sell you.
Sure.
I got beachfront property in Arizona for you.
Yes, you do.
It doesn't work over there. And they've been trying, how many years now they've been trying to do different things to make DVC work at Disneyland? Forever.
Forever, yeah.
And you tell me again one thing that has worked.
I don't know.
I can't think of one. Anybody? Like, if you guys know, let me know, because I'm sitting here going and scratching my brain, scratching my head, going, no.
No.
So anyway, this is another thing that is an utter. I don't know what they spent to do this.
Yeah.
Probably a few mil. That's fine.
Probably.
It looks really cool. Like, it looks like a cool little
Sure.
little kind of outworldly kind of lounge. But not a lot of people are going to be in there.
No, not a lot. And what they should have done with this is made this like a Magic Key lounge, like they have in DCA, which I've
That
never
is would have been the right thing to do.
Yeah, like okay, and I can understand that, and then you go, oh well, because most people the DVC, it's a timeshare,
Yeah.
and it's a financial commitment.
Yep.
And you go, well, I don't want to get into that. I mean, that's way too much. I'm not going to travel all over the world and take advantage of this. But a Magic Key annual pass is not unrealistic.
No.
You can go, well, oh, wait a minute. So this is yet another benefit of being a Magic Key
Yep.
holder. I can come to this lounge when I want, just like the one at DCA, that outdoor trattoria area, and they have their own food and drinks there. And yeah, make this that. This to me is ridiculous, as you said. It's like,
I think again, this is when the mentality of making a buck
yeah,
goes over the mentality of what's better for the average, park
sure.
guest. No, I really think this is going to change. I don't think it's going to hold. I think at the bare minimum, I think that it will go. You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
It should be if they really want to do it, it should be a Magic Key exclusive thing.
Yeah.
Make it a thing. Make the food. Do whatever you got to do, and then you will see. Then you will actually have that place packed
Yeah.
out like in DCA.
Yeah, you're right. And this is actually, honestly, now that I say it out loud, this is kind of the thing that would sway me into getting a Magic Key.
It would help.
I'd be like, oh, yeah, I could be doing this.
Yeah, like I've got a spot over there that I can go and hang out in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Get a drink, get some food, hang out and chill.
Yeah.
And you're above, right? It's above. You're kind of, oh man. Again, looking at it through the lens of a park goer would have helped this.
Sure, absolutely would have helped this. And one final thought is, because we're going to talk about Tomorrowland, I would say not every, but I can conservatively say 9 out of 10 times that I've heard about designs for whatever Tomorrowland's going to come in next, this building is leveled.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a room. I mean, I know the People Mover track kind of fits. Actually, not kind of. It does run through the top portion. So maybe that's why they haven't leveled it yet. But everything else suggests that this building's going to be gone. So why do you invest in this?
Don't know.
I mean, whatever.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, next news item. Space Mountain Single Rider line is rerouted through exit at Disneyland. After reopening with a new procedure a few weeks ago, the Space Mountain Single Rider line has been rerouted through the Tomorrowland rides exit at Disneyland Park. That's the way it's always been. Oh no! Wait a minute. Not through the exit. Single rider lines allows. We know what they do. So basically, what they're saying is single riders now available back at Space Mountain. I have done that, a single rider for that. It actually works out great. It used to be able to go like you're walking as everyone's leaving, right where the photo pass is. I mean, the photo thing. You just turn left and you go down these crazy corridors and you end up on the other side of the tracks. But they weren't doing it last time, but now they are. So great. I would say take advantage of that if that works with your party.
Yeah.
It also generated another list of other single rider attractions at the park. Splash Mountain has it, Matterhorn bobsleds, and the Millennium Falcon all do single riders. And DCA's Goofy's Flight School, Incredicoaster, Radiator Springs Racers, Grizzly River Runs, and Web Slingers all do single riders. I love that. I think it's a great thing.
I don't care.
Okay.
No, I mean, single rider to me is one of those things that when we got to use it because of a long wait time, okay. I mean, Radiator Springs classic example right there.
Yeah.
And the way they're handling radiators right now has been, from what I'm understanding, the debacle with the lightning lane. And
oh, sure.
anyway, I think there's a lot of work for as long as that Radiator Springs has been open. They really have not figured out how to handle that line. They just haven't. I don't know why. But anyway, so I when I see single ride, I don't really care.
Okay.
I'm like, okay.
Okay. Next news item. I was going to call it $110 for a 120-minute experience, but that's another headline. Reservations are now available for celebrating Disney 100 at the Disneyland Resort, the guided tour. This brand new limited time experience at Disneyland Resort begins April 7th. That's next week. Tour guests will experience the Disneyland Resort as a living story where they will uncover tales of how the Walt Disney Company has brought magic to the guest experience for over a century. By visiting, this is a little misleading because the park hasn't been open for a century. So what are they talking about? By visiting special sites around the parks and exploring Disney's iconic fantasy worlds and characters, tour recipients will learn about the creative process that continues to inspire minds and hearts. Tour guests will experience the Disneyland Resort as a living story where they will uncover tales of how the Walt Disney Company has brought magic to the guest experience. In addition, on the day of the tour, each guest will receive access to reserved viewing for the Magic Happens Parade. This fan-favorite Disneyland parade is returning for the Disney 100th celebration. According to the Disney's description of the show, this unforgettable spectacle reminds us you don't need the wings to fly. Yeah, okay. Here's what you get for $110. It's a 2-hour tour. You get walking through Disneyland Park and DCA with an official Disneyland tour guide, touring Buena Vista Street, Animation Academy, Main Street Opera House, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, and Sleeping Beauty Castle, participating in a drawing experience at Animation Academy, including special characters for Disney 100, a digital download of a guest photo taken in front of Sleeping Beauty Castle, a Disney 100 celebration snack, reserved viewing for Magic Happens, and a limited edition Disney 100 commemorative pin. Okay, but you also need a park reservation and admission on top of all this. The same date, $110 per guest. Would you do this, Udi?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I like the thought. I enjoy the fact that they want to further, educate people on the park and the history. And I like that aspect, right?
Yeah.
Because like we were just talking about earlier, how people need to take time to understand why the park is as amazing as it is.
Yeah.
So that, I'm like, yeah, all for. The 110, I'm like, it's a bit steep. Like you told me like $70, $80, I'd be like, all right, let's go. I'd go do it. I'd go do it because I wouldn't mind getting that. Maybe I will hear something I don't know.
Sure.
Or learn or get another tidbit of like a new appreciation.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, yeah, that's cool, but the price tag is a little high.
Yeah.
It's a little high.
It's a little high. If it included lunch and did other stuff like, you get to go on the Jungle Cruise and learn how this got started, and you got to buy, and you may get a chance to do your own boat.
Yeah. Well, that's because
or whatever.
Yeah.
You can pick an attraction if it had a couple, but I don't know. Yeah, I think it's a little steep.
Yeah.
But I'm
So
sure
kind of a cool idea.
It is
Not
a cool
gonna lie.
idea.
Not gonna lie. That I like the thought.
yes,
The thought is kind of cool.
if they could have another couple versions of this,
Mm-hmm.
no, I might do that. Okay, and the last thing for the news was that even I got caught into this. Is the splash rumor theory got busted? I had read that May 7th was going to be, or May 6th would be the last day. That's not true anymore. They said that Disney, according to the OC Register, Disney's not going to commit to a date yet on that.
Huh.
So
Interesting.
yes, so it did get spread throughout the fan community, and yours included. Mine included. I was involved in that.
Yep.
But I did send out an Instagram on that, and I got some answers what they thought of that. So I'm going to read some of those if I still have them up, because the question was what are your thoughts about that? Let's see. Marcus said, "Rest in peace, Splash, but I do look forward to Tiana. I think it's a good theme for the ride." Okay. Mr. Bob said, "I will miss Splash Mountain so much. So what will happen to Critter Country with only Pooh left? Will Hungry Bear get rethemed? Makes no sense to have them there now since the bayou is extending all the way down."
I've been saying that for a while now.
We have, and our friend / artist Sam Carter made a special poster for what like that land could be. It looks great. But those are very good questions, Mr. Bob. Will Hungry Bear get rethemed? Gosh, I hope it doesn't. I think it's unique. That restaurant is very unique, and what?
It's gonna get put on a chopping block.
Oh, we don't say that.
No, it will be.
Okay. Hope you're wrong this time.
I know.
You mean taken down, or just
No.
rethemed?
They're gonna retheme it. I think the location it's too big. It's a good spot.
Yes.
The view, the whole thing is great, but I think it's gonna get rethemed.
Okay. Well, I'll be curious to see what it gets rethemed to. Okay. First Prime Alpha said, IG needs an angry button. Oh, Instagram needs an angry button. Laugh out loud. If this had come around for reasons other than pacifying racists, I might be less upset. However, Disney has been willing to bend the knee before, i.e. Pirates, Jungle Cruise, etc. So now the question is, how much Walt Parks will actually be left when they're done?
You know, you don't have
Pacifying racists? What's he talking about?
Well, no, because and this is what we commented on it when they first announced that they wanted to do it. That because a lot of people have been going around, and because of the tie, and I'm air quoting problematic.
That's our word again.
I hate that word.
I hate it too.
Tie to the Song of the South, which is extremely racist. Which again, for anybody who's ever seen the movie, man, recognize when it was made and recognize the story that's being told. That's why I think a lot of people who fly off on that movie, you're missing the point. You're looking at everything in the surface level. But anyway, I won't go off on that jag. But anyway, so the comment was made, and a lot of people were like, oh, it's racist, and because of it being tied to that movie. And so that tie has always been one thing I'm like, and even Disney's disavowed that. I'm like, okay, but again, people need to stop putting today's thing on something made 50 years ago. You just can't do it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. But anyway, so that's what I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's what he's commenting because a lot of people feel that it was, and me included, feel that some of it had to do with that pressure of people pushing because they don't like what it's tied to, even though there is no hint anywhere in that park, mind you, not just in that attraction, but in that park, in Disney properties, period, in my opinion, that point to any form of racism. I will fight you to tooth and nail if you try to bring me saying, oh, this is racist. I will, no.
There you go.
Anyways.
Tarhelium said, I love Splash and do not want to see it go. Yeah,
Yep.
Understood.
I get that.
Yep. Skittle Muffin said it's sad. I was about 8 when it launched, and all the hype about it was cool. I still remember the commercial. Song of the South may be the theme of the ride, but I don't think most even know that I know that I didn't know until I was much older. What? Okay. It's a beloved attraction to me, and the music cannot be topped. There is no reason to change it. Still a long wait on a hot day. It's still a long wait on a hot day. Disney's fixing a problem that isn't broken. People are not going to ride the attraction in the winter unless they figure out how not to get people so wet no matter what the theme. What's next? Tiana's Haunted Mansion? That is the only thing stopping that whole section of the park being Princess and the Frog.
Well, I agree and disagree. Yeah, like I was just commenting, a lot of people have no idea why they throw a racist barb at that. They have no clue.
No.
You're going to tell me, like, again, they only have been told X, Y, Z, and they're following along with it. Whatever. I mean,
because of Zippity Doo-Dah.
Yeah,
right?
Zippity Doo-Dah, Zippity A. You know, my oh my what. You know, no,
I
it
think
has to do.
that song won a Grammy, didn't it?
Yeah. Again.
Yeah.
This is the problem when you're not looking at what that movie is about.
Sure.
And looking past it is actually about how in that time the color didn't matter. That's what I'm like. This is actually one. Anyway, so
we can't go down that jag.
I want to go down. I want to go down on that jag one day. Maybe one day we will. But anyway, but that being said, yeah, a lot of people have no idea what it is. They just it's racist. Why? I don't know. That's what I heard. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And they have no understanding of what's going on. But he's right in the fact that, yeah, it's a wet ride. People aren't going to ride it in the winter. They don't.
Sure.
It's wet. From my understanding, they're not going to change any of that. So, yeah, you're going to get soaked. So be it. The thing I disagree about is, like, no, they're not going to, they cannot change anything else in the Tiana. They cannot. What they're going to do, as far as retheming, they're already going to do. I don't see them, even Hungry Bear, I don't see them retheming it to a Tiana thing. I think the fact that they're doing the other place to it eliminates that. That is an oversaturation. And there is no way in the world that they would dare touch Mansion.
No.
If they come anywhere near it as a retheme or anything, the knives will come out because there's plenty of people who love that attraction just the way it is. We can sit here and argue and fight on whether you want original or Christmas all day long, and that's a great battle to have. But to retheme it to no. Good Lord, no. There are such things in that park as untouchables.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And that is one. And any Imagineer who tries to do anything about it will get figuratively put on a stake and be like, no.
No.
There's the door, buddy.
There's the door.
Out you go. Unless you're going to just upgrade tech, get out.
Get out. There you go. The last comment was from Gagustu, which we've never heard from him before yet.
No.
Honestly, I'm excited for the change. Splash has been neglected for the past 5 years. Yes. Mm-hmm. It could have been longer, but I really started noticing when my wife and I took our children for the first time. I love the Princess and the Frog film, but the story they released for it sounds boring.
Yep.
To be honest, hopefully it'll be amazing, but no mention of Facile burns me out. Fingers crossed it will turn out great. This guy's got some good points.
Yeah, no, he does, and thank you for commenting because I mean there's plenty for me. And this is touching back onto what we said. As a whole, we're not against this.
No.
At all.
No.
But we're more like we don't like the impetus like Skittle Muffin was saying. That he doesn't like that maybe, and a couple other people, like this is a general sentiment, they don't like why they feel this has been pushed. Okay? Yeah. And I'm in that camp. Like, I don't like that. A natural progression of attractions is normal. Okay? We've all seen it, and there are a lot of things that we can see how they have, progressed. But he's right in the fact that, no Facilier, one of the best, I love that character. He's one of the best bad guys in Disney. Yeah. So, and so, yeah, I think that it will be good. But I agree with the sentiment. Once the story came out, we all kind of like, really? That's what we got? Oh,
Tiana's throwing a party and she's missing some ingredients.
And we got to go find ingredients. It's pretty vanilla.
Well, that could be one of the ingredients.
Yeah, it might be the one we're looking for. We don't have, but no. But so I agree with them. I'm like, anybody who's excited for the thing, I'm not arguing with you, and I don't disagree with you.
No.
I'm like, that's fine. If you're excited about it, I'm glad for you. I don't care either way. But I agree in the fact that it sounds kind of boring, the story, and No Facilier is two strikes against it.
Yeah.
And the third one for me is that it's a wet ride to the degree of where you are. So I'm like, are you going to ride it? I'm committing to one.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'll probably commit to one.
Yep.
Maybe two, but one for sure. Just to see what it is all about.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's the actual news. We're going to go into our feature presentation, which is another news item that came out. So let's go to the feature presentation.
And now for our feature presentation.
Okay, so... All right, so the feature presentation is something that came out of the news. I found it to be somewhat, actually very interesting.
Going off of the other topic of the lounge, I think.
The lounge. Yeah, and so recently some concept art was found from, looks like there was how Disney, there's those auctions so you can buy stuff from Disney, and this is what it was. There's some descriptions of what they were thinking about in 1998 in regards to Tomorrowland and what some of the Imagineers were thinking of doing. So I'll post some of this online on Instagram so you can see what we're talking about. But the concept art shows a Tron light cycle, and I mean Tron as you know what it means, but it really wasn't Tron at that point. A light cycle type ride was envisioned for the People Mover track in New Tomorrowland at Disneyland, and jetpacks and Wall-E and more was all included. So I'm going to read it to you. In 1998, Disneyland introduced a new Tomorrowland headlined by the infamous rocket rods, which ran on the track once intended for the beloved People Mover. Those tracks are still there, right? The overhaul of the classic theme land was an unmitigated disaster. Large attraction spaces for Circle Vision Theater and Mission to Mars became queues and restaurants, respectively. Space Mountain was painted in unsightly copper color. You remember that, dude?
Oh, my God, yeah.
Yeah. And the land's other new offerings were attractions that opened in Epcot in 1994. Once Rocket Rods closed in 2002, Disneyland fans began to speculate about the future of the area. 21 years later, we're still doing it.
Yeah. Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
In an effort to quickly correct the mistakes of 1998 was made in the mid-2000s when Buzz Lightyear's Astro Blasters replaced the queue of rocket rods. The land was slowly painted in shades of blue to erase the disliked copper tones that were added. The classic submarine voyage was even brought back to life as a new attraction featuring characters from Finding Nemo. Despite all this, questions remained about the future of the People Mover track and other unsuccessful venues from the overhaul.
Yep.
Well, as early as 2008, which was 10 years after the retheming of that, Disneyland was planning to fix Tomorrowland. In what is essentially a book documenting the possible 5-year plan for Disneyland Park around 2028, which was acquired at a recent auction.
2008.
Yeah, around 2008, which we acquired at a recent auction, we being the author of this section. An entire section breaks down what was being worked on for another new Tomorrowland. One we are sadly still waiting on as of the writing of this piece. The page is broken into 2 segments, one featuring items that were already in development or negotiation, and another with the Walt Disney Imagineering master plan for the area.
Yep.
So there's a page that looks like it's a spreadsheet of guidelining principles, areas of opportunity, specific concepts. So let's go to what is listed here.
Yep.
So this is 2008. This is 10 years after 1998.
Well, before we go to the list, I find I'm looking at the graph here, right? And that has the basically the pillars that they wanted to work on, right?
Yeah.
Look at the guiding principle. Read that guiding principle real
I didn't
quick.
read that. Find a marketable hook to reignite an optimistic future. Yes.
Okay, look at when that was printed. What, 19 what?
This would be 2008.
2008. Okay, so that is what, how many? 15 years ago, right?
Yeah, and 10 years after they rethemed it.
Correct.
Okay.
So, then and there, they knew back then what the land needed. Right there, it tells you that is the main guiding principle. Find the hook. What have we been barking about the entirety of our show run?
Well, you thought, and you rightfully brought up, that you need an original IP.
And that tells you right there that they've known this for at the bare minimum 15 years. That's a bare minimum 15 years.
Oh, yeah.
You know how irate I am right now? I'm like, because without going on to a long old jag, because I've been on them, but this tells you everything you need to know of why Tomorrowland is failing.
Yeah.
Because they know, and they have known what they need for that land, and they are not doing anything to progress that. They have shifted to a million other things and have left this land to die, which is baffling to me.
It is.
Because of the message of that land. For all they care about messaging, what Tomorrowland should be is a look at the future, where we're going. And anyway.
Maybe Disney sees no future.
They have to. If not, they're all going to die.
And this is their actual artistic approach to it. Hey, we're going to let it die. Oh, no, I'm not going to go down there.
Anyway,
but you're right. That is good. I didn't even read that. Okay. Here's the areas of opportunity they have for new magic opportunity. Marketable, dramatic changes to the show components of existing attractions. Okay, so there's some cool concept art going along here, but here's what's listed. So here's in production: a monorail, Star Tours 3.5, which is in development, Chevron initiative in negotiation. We're going to break down what those are in a little bit.
Yep.
Wally Synergy Initiative, which is HISTA Interventions. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Beamway / Rocket Bikes, investigate the ride system.
Okay.
Space Mountain Forecourt Global 3D Strategy. Oh, Honey, I Shrunk. Okay, that is Honey, I Shrunk the Audience.
Oh.
Okay, so they were talking about a Wally Synergy Initiative in Honey, I Shrunk the Audience / Interventions, or that. Space Mountain Forecourt and that theater, Global 3D Strategy, and Rocket Jetpacks, investigate ride system.
Yep. All good freaking ideas.
Yes.
All of them.
As far as items in production, which is what they had the monorail,
Right.
the Disneyland Monorail Mark 7 trains began debuting in July of 2028.
2008.
Debuting in July 2008. I said that twice.
Yep.
Concept art for the Disneyland Mark 7 monorail systems. Concept art for the Disneyland Mark 7 monorail, Star Tours Episode 3.5, eventually Star Tours, The Adventure Continues, and the Autopia. So there is some art of what these things are going to look like. The Star Tours logo, it doesn't move the needle for me. It just looks like Star Tours, and they said
generic.
It's just generic.
Yep.
The monorail, I've seen that before.
Yeah.
But
The Autopia.
yes,
That right there, my friends.
I like it, dude. I'm digging that.
I am too. Which, again, what is my complaints about Autopia? They have never looked at that and done that correctly. And now I'm looking at this concept art, and I'm like, there you go.
Yes.
That, as you said, that moves the needle for me.
It does. It does. And listeners, we will post this on Instagram because you're probably thinking you're on the radio or headset, whatever you're doing.
What are they looking at?
So, yeah, I will throw this up there so you can go, oh, yeah, that does look pretty cool.
Yep.
Okay, so Star Tours 3.5 was a reference to the timeline in which the new Star Tours The Adventure Continues would take place between Episode 3 and 4 of the Skywalker saga. This opened in 2011. Okay. The Chevron initiative is referencing the Disneyland Autopia, which was sponsored by Chevron from 2000 to 2012. This was speaking of the upcoming contract expiration, which did come to pass without Chevron renewing. Honda became a new sponsor in 2016, eventually updating the ride and adding Asimo and his counterpart Bird to the attraction.
Which is lame.
Dude, that's so stupid.
It is incredibly lame. I will always, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for those who don't remember, Asimo was part of Interventions. When you could walk in there back in the day, you could walk in there and check out new things.
Yep.
Ever been to the Exploratorium in San Francisco?
It has
At
been
the
a
Palace of
while.
Fine Art? It's
Yeah.
very, akin to that. They can all these cool little concepts. I remember Xbox was they had when that first came out. You could play it there. Even before you could get it, it was there. And anyways, the Asimo was there as a robot doing stuff. You
Yeah.
could-
I
anyway.
remember them.
Yeah.
And then when they dropped him down in there, and I remember I wrote it. I'm like, why are you here?
Yeah, nobody knows what that guy
Yeah.
is.
And then Bird, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
All dumb, lame. Like I said, extremely lame. Even for people who like the attraction, they probably are all like, it's kind of lame.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anyways, so that's what the Chevron initiative. So the
Yep.
WALL-E reference, the WALL-E Synergy Initiative was likely referring to the living character WALL-E that Walt Disney Imagineering built but never got to use in public, outside of some appearances at D23 Expo and events and a few other non-park opportunities. There was even a backdrop for it at Disney's Hollywood Studios at the Magic of Disney Animation, but it just sat there with no character ever materializing. So WALL-E, again, to Shannon's go.
No, go ahead. Finish that. And then
Shannon's always been talking about having this character, and she's right about this guy.
I know a couple of people who WALL-E happens to be their favorite Pixar.
Yeah.
13 and then Christy.
Okay.
Loves WALL-E. And so for me, I'm like, there is a perfect IP that is owned already, created,
Yeah.
Pixar, that could have been integral into reintroducing Tomorrowland. It is a huge, or was, I don't know if you could do that now. But back then, they could have done a lot to produce, and because if you don't know WALL-E, go watch WALL-E. If you haven't seen WALL-E, go see WALL-E. Honestly, one of the best examples of good storytelling
Yeah.
and a good message without hitting you over the head with messaging.
There's not a lot of dialogue in that movie, is there?
No.
Okay.
Not a lot is spoken, but it talks about what future can be if you don't pay attention, if you're not looking at, and looking at if you don't take care of yourself and the people around you and your surroundings, how you can devastate what's around. It is a very green, and I'm air quoting green movie. It has a lot to do with environment, nature, and human nature. It is a great movie. Not only that,
There's your hook right there.
exactly, and then talking about love and how you can create a relationship and all the little things that is done in true classic Disney form. Fantastic film. Absolutely fantastic. And they missed an opportunity. They could, honestly, if they really got into it, they could make WALL-E things in that, and people would come to it. I would go to that.
Sure.
If you did something WALL-E, I'm all in. They overloaded. Like, okay, this is the cool thing you can argue back and forth. The whole Buzz Lightyear thing, that isn't really the future.
No.
It has a futuristic character because it's a made-up thing. No, WALL-E is actually set in the future.
Yeah.
So they have, if they ever, that would have been the window to go with. Because WALL-E, a lot of people love that character, WALL-E and Eve. You will find this now. You will go around, and how many people can be like, favorite Pixar? How many people? Millions probably say like WALL-E.
Oh, yeah.
They love it. And then how Eve is. I mean, it is a great film. It is a great film.
It is, for sure.
So yeah, anything WALL-E related, they're right there could have done something to move that land forward. They could have done Tron. They could have done WALL-E and all these things. And those could still apply today. Both Tron, even though it was 1984, I think is when that movie came out. And then their the sequels that come out and the things that come, but then even WALL-E, all set in the future.
Yeah.
All amazingly good storytelling and message appropriately. I don't see why they don't still do it, but anyway.
They still can.
They still freaking can.
They still can. Good points.
Yep.
The next time they talked about was the WDI master plan, and they say, well, this is where things get really interesting. The rocket bikes certainly do evoke some feelings of the Tron light cycle, and it's so strange that they aren't specifically Tron vehicles, given how close this was to the release of Tron Legacy in 2010.
Yep.
That being said, maybe this choice was on purpose to protect the secret of the neutron legacy light cycles, which were not revealed at this time.
Yep.
Lucky for us, the concept eventually made its way into a roller coaster for Shanghai Disney in 2016, and then here at the Magic Kingdom.
Yep.
And there's an artist concept of rocket bikes, which for all intents and purposes are the Tron light cycles.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody would be upset with this.
No, nobody would be.
Yeah.
This could have easily replaced rocket rods and probably been more functional because like everybody's ever been like I said, I think I wrote it one time.
What?
Rocket rods.
Well, I never did.
I think I wrote it I wrote it one time. No, I think I actually just looked at them and went like, what is that?
Sam is the one I know who's actually been on it.
Yeah.
He was talking about it, but I don't even.
I don't think no. Now that I'm thinking about it, no, I never wrote it. I remember seeing it and I remember doing that wheelie thing, going, what is that?
Yeah, I've only seen videos of those.
Yeah.
I've never seen them in real life.
So, yeah, no. Again, here's another thing.
Yeah.
That they had the ideas. These are all functioning ideas, and it isn't just a thing of like we're looking at what Tomorrowland is now going. Oh, anything would be better. No. These are actually good concepts.
These are great concepts. Yeah. The concept here, I'm just reading it, shows a single file trains of rocket bikes zooming past what looks like the Astro Orbiter. They also appear to be on bank turns, an investment that wasn't made for rocket rods and was eventually a big part of the reason why the attraction had to be retired.
Yeah, because it didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything. Sadly for Disneyland, the People Mover track remains dormant, although rumor has it that a new shorter version of the People Mover attraction is currently in development.
Which we're all for.
We're all for.
Do something.
Do something. In this creative menu book, the Tomorrowland project is listed as a possibility for 2012. But with a choice between this project and a large Fantasyland expansion project, neither of these actually materialized. But in fairness, the document did label both plans as for the next 5 years or beyond. Well, we are there.
Beyond.
We are there. While we are still waiting for new developments for Tomorrowland at Disneyland, it is interesting to see that the problem has not only been known for the last 15 years, but there have been many very real plans to correct it, as Udi just said.
Yep.
And the last picture is, it's unclear what part of New Disneyland Tomorrowland this concept art represents, but I can tell you exactly where this is.
Space Mountain.
Exactly. This is based on that. So that looks like, to the left, that looks like the Pizza Port area, right? Where we recorded, right?
Correct.
Yep. So what we're looking at as a piece of concept art is if you're walking towards Space Mountain and you go, like, you're still outside, but you go underneath everything, and Pizza Planet is to your left and the theater's to your right. It's that walkway there. That's to me exactly what that looks like.
Yep.
It looks very Logan's Run. I probably don't even know what most people don't know what that is.
If you don't know what it is, go find it.
Yeah. It looks like. Oh, wait a minute. There's an elevator system or something there too. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, that is an elevator, big platform elevator going up.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. This design, but
the idea behind it though is what you can really look at, and then that is the thing that is really intriguing.
Yeah, intriguing.
Yep.
Like you, Udi, I'm frustrated when I see this. I'm happy that they're thinking about this, but I'm frustrated that we don't have this now.
Well,
what the heck's going on, dude?
So here is what I find, and this makes my mind really begin to kind of kick over. 2023, we all know where the park is now. Okay, we all know, like we talked about it earlier, layoffs and everything.
Yeah.
We've talked about it before that there is now real competition from Universal.
Oh, for sure.
Okay. So now the question is going to be,
which is good, by the way.
It is very good. Competition, for anybody who says competition isn't good,
oh no,
I'll fight you.
Yeah.
I mean, and figuratively, because I will argue with you and make a competition out of it and show you how it's good.
Yeah.
But what it is now I wonder. It makes me wonder, and this really is a thing that I hope Iger, and I'm being cautiously optimistic at looking what he's doing, at looking at who he's relieved of their duty at the higher ends of the company. the top. And for me, if they're going to lay off people, and the fact that they went to the top and started cutting people made me happy.
Yes.
I didn't really comment with it, but it made me happy, not only because of, I think, what they were doing was a poor job, but that is typically the route that most companies don't do.
I understand that.
But anyway, so now here's my thing. We all know that with the serious competition, that means, and we've been saying this for a while now, that they need to come up with something. They need to recognize where they are standing and not sit on their hands any further. And they need to reinvest into the company.
Yes.
And they need to and be wise and be very intelligent about what they're going to do. They don't have anything to screw around. They don't have, I don't think they have the capital, the money,
No.
and I don't think they have the amount of power that they had 5-10 years ago.
Right.
So that means they need to be very, very, very prudent about where they're going to go. So in order for me, and I think in order for Disney and Disneyland more specifically, in order for them to regain their footing, these are the type of things they need to be investing in. Okay, they don't need to be reinvesting into repainting something or retheming an attraction. Like, as much as Splash Mountain, we talk about that, we don't care, but is that really prudent for them to do now? Whatever they're going to spend to retheme it,
No.
is that really prudent right now?
No, I mean, is that you're asking me really?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just thinking out loud. So as you're talking about this, I'm thinking, okay, they just finished Toontown. Now, what are the next big projects that we know about? Well, we know about Splash Mountain, and we know about Avatar, whatever that it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But dude,
Are either of those prudent?
when you weigh it against Tomorrowland?
Yeah.
No, absolutely not. No. If I had a say in it, I would say we need to start fixing this.
Mm-hmm.
We need to systematically be able to shut down things. I understand that shutting down Toontown is not the same as shutting down Tomorrowland.
No.
It's a much bigger risk you have to take, but you can make access to to Space Mountain,
And Star Tours.
and Star Tours. Well, that one could be gone, but
Yeah.
but I know people still want to see Space Mountain, and I don't know if Space Mountain retheming would be part of the whole thing.
No, they don't need, you don't need to touch Space Mountain, period. They don't need to touch it. It's fine.
Then people don't realize when you're on Main Street and like you are by the lockers, you're not horribly far away from Space Mountain.
No, they could redirect traffic to it quite easily.
Easily, they could do that. They could just make a quick corridor to and from that area.
They could make they could do that. They're people who are intelligent. Give me a map. I will figure it out for you.
Oh yeah,
I got time.
right. So the question is, are they willing to shut down Tomorrowland? And they could, depending on what they were doing, they could keep Space Mountain running, and the rest of it put it on ice until they can get it done. So the answer to your question is, is Tomorrowland? Sorry, is Space Mountain? Is Splash Mountain and Avatar experience more important to me than Tomorrowland? No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, that money should not be going anywhere.
No.
I mean, if you want to have a little bit of budget first, honestly, if we're talking real numbers here, a little bit of budget to actually make Splash Mountain nice again.
Yeah.
That probably won't take a whole lot of money.
No.
Because there's probably people that actually care about that. They go, well, I'll just work on weekends and get this thing done. I'm not sure if unions will allow that, but you could do that. And then Avatar, dude.
Okay.
Who's asking for this?
Nobody's asking for Avatar.
Yeah.
Again, these are the things. This is where I say I'm cautiously optimistic, because the fact that he brought that up for Disney, I'm like, nobody cares.
Yeah.
Like, we get that, and the knee-jerk reaction. This is where I get the heebie-jeebies, because when they announced it, I'm like, that's a complete 100% knee-jerk reaction, because it's actually making you money. It's one film, and you're like, oh, we need to figure something. In 2 years or whatever, when you're finally done with it, Avatar's going to be in the rearview mirror. I know there's more movies coming, but this is not the IP that people are going to hook into at that level.
Right.
Unless you're willing to do something like what they were able to do at what is it, Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
Because they actually dedicated the area and the time and they themed everything. You cannot make an experience, and I'm air quoting that, whatever he's calling it, in Disneyland. You do not have the freaking real estate to do that.
Not yet.
Unless they burn. So again, and this is where I go. Avatar, the experience, where's it going to go? And what are you really going to accomplish with that? Okay, if you're going to, again, this is where I'm talking about. Is it prudent right now? Is the money Disney's clearly needing to be prudent and very directed what they're spending their money.
Yeah.
Again, Tiana's, the Splash Mountain retheme doesn't matter. You could spend the money and fix it and make it better, and people would be like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
If they're actually smart, they could go like, hey, we're going to retheme this, or not retheme it. We're going to refurb it and get it back and write it to the experience that we had before, and then you have your option of like, hey, you can go over there for that. This is where they screwed up with Galaxy's Edge, but I won't go on that tangent. You could capitalize on the fact that there's differences. You don't need to homogenize the entirety of the parks. We don't need the same things everywhere. We actually have a diversity of attractions to go ride.
Yeah.
No need to be like, well, that one's the same, and that one's the same. Well, then why am I going to go there? Oh, I rode it on the East Coast. Yippee!
Yeah.
Hooray for you!
Yeah.
I don't care.
Right.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I rode that and I rode that. Okay, cool. So for me, it's like I will go ride Tron because it's different.
Yeah.
I will go to Splash Mountain over there because it's going to be Tiana's thing now because it's different.
Yeah.
If Galaxy's Edge was different, I'd be like, I would make it infinitely more like we need to get over there because it's different.
Well, we brought that up before. If one was like an indoor type of thing and one was bad too, we had to go to both.
So here is the thing. This is the opportunity that they have to invest in Tomorrowland because Tomorrowland is a very unique land. Mm-hmm. Is there another one with Tomorrowland? Anything like Tomorrowland?
Well, Disney World has it.
Yeah, but is it like the same? No, they have Tron over there, and what else do they have?
They have a People Mover.
Okay, see,
that's running, and they have a Space Mountain, which is which was the first Space Mountain, but it's not as nice as ours.
Exactly. So my point is like they have let it run to the point where they had ideas, and they're all like most of these are really good, and these would revitalize that part of the park. It is a major land in the park.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to fight back against your competition, that is a target-rich environment to bring new things in.
Sure.
And make them unique to Disney. Mm-hmm. I mean, Universal bought Harry Potter. They make their thing. Good for you. It's a great IP. I'm glad.
Yeah.
The land, I don't think there has been probably a better time for them to actually focus in on this and make this, because this can be something that is unique to Disney, not an IP, not, oh, this is cool, blah, 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 blah. I think they need to begin to get away from buying their way through.
Sure.
So like I said, the knee-jerk reaction to like, oh, we need the Avatar experience, nobody cares. Not to that level. Nobody's going to be like, oh, I'm going to go to Disneyland for an Avatar experience. We're not going to. Most people who go to Disneyland don't go to Disneyland for that. They don't go. The mere fact that California Adventure isn't as popular is your tell. It's IP heavy over there.
Yeah.
Bought IP heavy. Never gonna reach the level of Disneyland. Mm-hmm. There's your tell. Disneyland is different, and this is when I get frustrated because for all of us who go to the park, we recognize that. For the Disneyland aficionado, we recognize that the park is different. Disney, pull your head out of your ass and recognize it for the love of everything that's freaking holy, that this park is different. Stop treating it as every other park.
Right.
This is their problem. This is why we're here where we are. And this is why Tomorrowland has been sitting dilapidated and abandoned for 20 years. And then seeing this thing shows me that there's plenty of people in that company that are like, hey, we've got a solid plan, and all of these are great to revitalize that. And if they actually did that, I would be amped to go back to the park again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. But I'm glad this was uncovered.
Yeah.
I love this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'll put some of the stuff on the Instagram so you can get an idea of what we're looking at, because I know it's hard for us to describe it. But yeah, I think he was right with this. I think right now is the best time to strike and get Tomorrowland, just get it going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd be all in favor of just shutting down everything else. But to your point about Avatar Land, or whatever it is,
Yeah,
Avatar
whatever they're calling it,
Experience,
yeah.
we don't know what's going on with Disneyland Forward. I assumed that this might be an anchor spot for whatever new land.
Then it would be okay over there.
I'd be great over there, and that's great. That they can go ahead and do that. No, and I know that money's tight, and I use that loosely. I mean, I don't mean to be like opposite of tight and loosely, but Disneyland always has the money. All right, we've said this before. There's not a bank.
They can find a way.
There's not a bank in America that would not give them the money to build this stuff, and they'll recoup it. And this is a crazy expensive endeavor for sure, but this is the right time to make it right in Tomorrowland.
If and here's again, this is where I'm cautiously optimistic about Iger because of the moves he's made so far. I think he's recognizing that Disney is about to get knocked off the top.
Oh, they are, yeah.
And I think him, and I hope he doesn't come back into his old playbook, and it doesn't look like he is to a huge extent, not completely, but I think to a huge extent. It looks to me like he's not following his old script.
Okay.
From when he was in charge before. So again, that's why I'm cautiously optimistic about everything, because this could be a moment where he goes, "This is what we got to do."
Yep.
You know, or he could just let it go another 20 years before they do anything.
No, I hope not.
I hope not.
Yeah. Well, this has been a good discussion. I'm actually happy with the way today's show turned out. To be honest, listeners, we didn't even have a topic this morning or last night. But this is us. This is honestly what you're hearing is a complete unscripted dialogue that we're just talking about. And this is the same conversation we'd be having if we were standing in line of Pirates or something, or at Trader Sam's. All right, LTP listeners and family, this is going to wrap up episode number 171. Yes, for more information about the show, check us out on leavingtodaypodcast.com. Also follow us on Instagram. That's the one we're most accessible on, at Leaving Today Podcast. We have a link tree on there. We have T-shirts you can sell, or you can buy. We also have our Patreon stuff on there. If that's something you want to get involved in, that would be really, really cool. And you can also reach us. You can direct message us or send us an email at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com. Udi, where can people find you?
You can find me on my other podcast, The Mando Show. We are a podcast that discusses Star Wars, and right now we are talking The Mandalorian because we're in the middle of season 3.
Yes.
So you can find me there, and then you can also find me on my Instagram and my Twitter, which is Haxgoalie, HAXGOALIE.
Okay.
And for all of you who know, you message me, I respond to everybody.
Yes, he does. All right, listeners, thank you for taking time out of your day or evening or afternoon to spend with us. We hope you found this engaging, and if this is the sort of conversation you like, well, then you found the right place. All right. We will see you in the parks. We love you, and adventures out there.
See ya.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Disneyland is now ended its normal operating day. We hope you enjoyed your visit to the Magic Kingdom and that the memories you've made will bring you back again soon.
Just whiskey, hot whiskey with some lemon.
Hot whiskey with lemon. Udi, don't say anything.
What are you doing? Flowers? What?
Sure, it can't be any worse than your whiskey and Coke from yesterday morning. Think of a banana.
Does it help? Okay.
Always does. Every time. Don't ask me why. But you make me hot. It's so close, I can feel it.
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face red.